Have you ever wondered why humans were created with such a unique ability to choose, to reason, and even to fail? What made us different from the angels who existed before us in perfection and obedience? Today, we are going to dive into a story that has fascinated scholars, theologians, and seekers of knowledge for centuries, a story that begins even before humanity itself existed. Imagine a time when the universe was filled with angels, radiant beings of immense knowledge and power, who lived in complete harmony and submission to God. Their existence was one of purity, perfection, and unwavering obedience. But then, God decided to create something new, something entirely different, a creation that would have free will, emotions, and the potential to rise or fall, to succeed or fail. This creation was humankind. The question is, how did God prepare the universe for this revolutionary new being? How did the angels, beings who had never experienced anything other than absolute obedience, react to the idea that something would come into existence with the potential to choose wrongly? The answer lies in a divine test, a test that not only revealed the obedience and devotion of the angels, but also set the stage for humanity's journey on earth. It begins with God announcing his plan to create humans. The angels, who had existed in perfect submission, were told of this forthcoming creation. They had observed the cosmos, the stars, the mountains, the seas, and the creatures that inhabited the earth. They had seen order and beauty in everything God had made, and yet, humans were to be something different, something that could think, question, and even disobey. Behold, I am about to place a Khalifa, a vicegerent, on earth, God declared. This Khalifa would not merely exist. It would possess intellect, free will, and the capacity for moral decision-making. It would have the ability to learn, to invent, to create civilizations, and also to commit errors. The angels were struck with a mix of curiosity and apprehension. How could a being that had the potential to make mistakes survive in the universe's grand design? God then gave the angels a command. I will teach this being the names of all things, the heavens, the earth, the mountains, the rivers, the animals, and all the mysteries hidden within the cosmos. And when I have taught it, you will witness a miracle unlike any other, a being that can understand and hold knowledge as you cannot, a being that can choose between right and wrong, a being capable of greatness and failure. In response, the angels asked a profound question. Will you place upon it mischief and shedding of blood, while we glorify you with your praise and sanctify you? Their question was not born of rebellion, but of concern and awe. They recognized the perfection of their own existence and the immense responsibility that God was assigning to this new creation. How could something imperfect survive among perfection? How could a being capable of error navigate a universe that had been meticulously ordered? God's reply was simple, yet profound. I know that which you do not know. With these words, God revealed that knowledge and wisdom are not merely about obedience or power. They are about understanding, perspective, and the ability to navigate complexity. And this is why humans were being granted something extraordinary, the ability to learn, reason, and choose. Then came the test, the divine trial for the angels. God presented a simple demonstration. He created objects, plants, and creatures, and he taught the names of these things to Adam, the first human. He then asked the angels, tell me the names of these things, if you are truthful. The angels, despite their vast knowledge and celestial power, realized they could not perform this task. They were beings of perfection, created to obey, but not to learn in the same way humans could. They bowed in acknowledgement of God's wisdom and declared, Glory be to you. We have no knowledge except what you have taught us. Indeed, it is you who is knowing and wise. Then God said, O Adam, inform them of their names. Adam, newly taught and newly given the capacity to understand, named all the objects, creatures, and phenomena before him. The angels witnessed something they had never experienced, a being created from clay, endowed with intellect, able to understand, reason, and name the world around it. This was the moment that set humans apart, a moment that demonstrated the gift of knowledge, choice, and potential. And yet, even with this miraculous demonstration, not all angels' hearts were free of doubt. One angel, Iblis, refused to bow before Adam. He saw the perfection of the angels and believed that he, being made of fire, was superior to Adam, who was made of clay. His arrogance blinded him to the divine wisdom behind Adam's creation. This act of disobedience was the first rebellion in the cosmos and would become a pivotal event in the story of humanity. It showed that even among beings of immense knowledge and power, free will could lead to pride, envy, and defiance. God's test of the angels, therefore, was not just a demonstration of obedience. It was a profound lesson about humility, wisdom, and the limits of knowledge. The angels learned that obedience alone is not the highest form of devotion. True understanding comes from recognizing God's wisdom, even when it surpasses one's own comprehension. Humans, on the other hand, were granted the ability to learn, adapt, and grow through both success and failure. This set the stage for a universe in which choice, responsibility, and moral growth would define existence. The story of the angels, test, and the creation of humans teaches us something timeless. It reminds us that knowledge is a gift, responsibility is a trust, and humility is essential even for the mightiest beings. Humans were created not to be perfect, but to strive for understanding, to learn from mistakes, and to fulfill their potential as vicegerents of God on earth. The angels' test was the first chapter in a narrative that continues with every human being today, a narrative of choice, morality, and the eternal pursuit of wisdom. And so, when we look at our own lives, we can reflect on this story. We too are beings with knowledge and the capacity to choose, to create, and to learn. Just like Adam, we are called to understand the world around us, to grow in wisdom, and to navigate the challenges of life with humility and awareness. The angel's test reminds us that even in a universe filled with order and perfection, the gift of free will is what makes existence meaningful, challenging, and profoundly beautiful. As we end this journey, remember this: your life is a continuation of that first test, a canvas where knowledge, choice, and morality intersect. Each decision you make, each lesson you learn, echoes the divine wisdom of the creation of humanity. You are the continuation of a story that began before the universe was fully formed. A story where curiosity, humility, and understanding are the keys to fulfilling your highest potential. In the end, the angel's test was not just about obedience. It was about preparing the space for something unprecedented: the human experience. The ability to choose, to learn, to fail, and to grow is the essence of what makes us unique. And that is a gift unlike any other in the universe, a gift that we are entrusted to honor every single day. As we continue to reflect on this moment, it is crucial to understand the nature of Iblis' refusal, because it is not merely an act of disobedience. It is a manifestation of pride, arrogance, and a fundamental misunderstanding of divine wisdom. Iblis had existed among the angels for eons, witnessing the perfection and order of the cosmos. He had experienced the tranquility of unwavering obedience and had never faced the challenges of choice, imperfection, or moral responsibility. When God asked him to bow to Adam, he reacted from a perspective shaped by certainty, a certainty that his own creation of fire gave him superiority over Adam's humble clay form. But in reality, the lesson God intended was about something far greater than physical composition or even apparent power. It was about the value of knowledge, humility, and recognition of the divine plan. This moment reveals a truth that echoes throughout human existence. Appearances can be deceiving, and superiority in form or status does not equate to superiority in purpose or understanding. Adam, made of clay, represented potential. He embodied the capacity for learning, reflection, and choice, the very attributes that Iblis could not comprehend. And it was precisely because Adam had the ability to learn and grow that he was deserving of respect and honor, even from beings as exalted as the angels. God's command for the angels to bow to Adam was in essence a test of perception and understanding. The angels were challenged to see beyond the surface, to recognize that true greatness is measured not by inherent perfection, but by the capacity for wisdom, moral discernment, and the fulfillment of divine purpose. When Iblis refused, he separated himself from this wisdom, and in doing so, he became the first being in the universe to exercise free will in a way that contradicted divine guidance. This act set the stage for an eternal struggle between guidance and rebellion, between choice aligned with truth and choice driven by arrogance or ego. Meanwhile, the other angels, although they were perfect in their obedience, learned something vital from this test. They witnessed firsthand the distinction between compliance and understanding. Obedience without comprehension is a form of submission, but obedience coupled with insight, humility, and recognition of wisdom is devotion in its highest form. When they observed Adam's ability to grasp knowledge and articulate it, the angels realized that humans, though fragile in form, possessed a gift that even they, in their perfection, could not claim. Humans were carriers of divine potential, endowed with the tools to navigate the moral and intellectual landscapes of existence. This brings us to a fundamental lesson. The creation of humans was not a challenge to the angels, but a revelation of God's infinite wisdom. The divine test was designed not to create conflict, but to demonstrate that the universe, though filled with perfection, needed beings capable of growth, learning, and moral evolution. Humanity was intended to be the steward of this potential, tasked with using intellect, emotion, and choice to cultivate knowledge, compassion, and justice. In this sense, the angels' test was not only about obedience, but also about understanding the unique role humans were destined to play. As humans, we inherit the consequences of this original test. Our lives are a continuation of the challenge first posed to the angels: to understand, to choose wisely, to act with humility, and to grow through experience. Every decision we make, from the smallest moral choice to the most significant life-altering action, reflects the same principles revealed in that first divine trial. We are constantly tested not by God's inability to judge us, but by our own capacity to recognize right from wrong, to act in alignment with wisdom, and to cultivate the virtues that elevate us. Consider the profound symbolism of Adam learning the names of all things. Naming is not a trivial act. It is the first expression of understanding, the first exercise of intellect and discernment. By assigning names, Adam demonstrated the ability to perceive the essence of creation, to categorize, analyze, and internalize knowledge. In modern terms, naming represents cognition, comprehension, and the human capacity to make sense of the universe. The angels, though magnificent in their own right, were incapable of this type of engagement. They existed in a state of perfection that did not require reflection or learning. They were observers, not participants in the dynamic process of discovery. From this perspective, we can see why Iblis' rebellion carries such enduring significance. His refusal to bow was not merely an act of defiance. It was a rejection of the principles that define human existence, the recognition of potential, the acceptance of divine wisdom, and the acknowledgement that growth and learning are central to purpose. By opposing Adam, Iblis positioned himself against the very qualities that God intended to cultivate in humanity: humility, curiosity, and moral discernment. This opposition became the archetype of temptation and misguidance, a force that would challenge humans throughout their history to remain steadfast in the pursuit of knowledge and virtue. Yet, even within this story of defiance and potential conflict lies a message of hope and opportunity. Humans, unlike Iblis, are not condemned by the capacity to make mistakes. We are empowered by it. Our errors, when recognized and corrected, become stepping stones toward wisdom. The angel's test reminds us that perfection is not the ultimate goal. Understanding and growth are. While angels were created as beings of unwavering obedience, humans were created to navigate the complexities of choice, responsibility, and moral discernment. This distinction is what makes humanity unique and profoundly significant in the cosmic order. Moreover, the angel's experience teaches us about the balance between knowledge and humility. Knowledge without humility can lead to arrogance, as seen in Iblis' case. Humility without knowledge can lead to stagnation, as obedience alone does not foster growth. The ideal path, therefore, is the integration of both, to seek knowledge with humility, to act with discernment, and to recognize that understanding is a continuous journey rather than a fixed state. Humans, through the exercise of free will and moral responsibility, are called to embody this integration, striving to align their choices with wisdom and virtue. As we reflect on these profound truths, it becomes clear that the story of the angel's test is not just a historical or theological narrative. It is a timeless allegory for the human experience. Every challenge we face, every moral dilemma we encounter, and every opportunity for growth mirrors the original test that set humanity apart. We are continuously presented with choices that require discernment, courage, and the willingness to learn. Like Adam, we are entrusted with the responsibility to understand, to name, and to navigate the complexities of existence with awareness and integrity. And so, when we consider the vastness of the universe and our place within it, we realize that the gift of human life is extraordinary. We are beings capable of understanding, reflection, and moral choice. We are entrusted with a potential that even the angels could not fully embody. The divine test of the angels was a prelude to the human journey, a reminder that true greatness lies not in perfection alone, but in the capacity to learn, grow, and fulfill the purpose for which we were created. As we conclude this segment, it is important to carry forward the lessons embedded in this story, to embrace knowledge with humility, to recognize the potential within ourselves and others, and to navigate life's challenges with moral clarity and insight. The angel's test and Adam's subsequent role as the first human serve as guiding principles for our own existence, offering wisdom and perspective that remain relevant across time, culture, and circumstance. As we continue to reflect on humanity's unique journey, it becomes clear that the story of Adam, the angels, and Iblis is not just about events in the distant past. It is about the blueprint of human life itself. Every choice we make, every decision to pursue knowledge, to act with integrity, or to resist temptation, is a continuation of that first divine test. We are living proof of the extraordinary potential that God instilled in humanity from the very beginning. A potential that sets us apart from every other being in creation. Iblis, though cast from grace, continues to play his role in this story. His rebellion reminds us that arrogance and pride are ever-present dangers when we ignore wisdom and truth. Temptation is not just an external force. It often arises from within, from our own desires, doubts, and misguided judgments. But unlike Iblis, humans have the capacity to recognize error, to repent, and to grow. This capacity transforms challenges into opportunities, trials into lessons, and mistakes into steps toward wisdom. In this way, humanity is both fragile and powerful, limited in form, but infinite in potential. Adam's experience also teaches us the importance of humility and responsibility. When God entrusted him with knowledge and the ability to name creation, Adam accepted a responsibility that the angels themselves could not fulfill. This demonstrates that greatness is not determined by status, form, or inherent perfection. It is determined by how one uses the gifts and opportunities given to them. Every human being inherits this legacy, carrying the responsibility to seek understanding, cultivate wisdom, and navigate life with integrity. To live fully as a human is to engage with the world thoughtfully, to learn continuously, and to strive for moral and spiritual growth. We also see in this story a profound lesson about learning and the pursuit of knowledge. The angels were beings of perfection, yet they lacked the experiential understanding that humans could gain through choice and reflection. Humans, in contrast, are creatures designed to learn through experience, to confront uncertainty, and to evolve through trial and error. This is a gift that makes life meaningful, providing each of us the opportunity to grow in intellect, character, and spirit. Our failures, when acknowledged and corrected, become stepping stones on the path of wisdom. Our successes, when guided by humility and insight, become milestones of human potential. And so the story comes full circle. From the first test of the angels to Adam's acceptance of his unique role, to the ongoing struggle against Iblis' influence, we see a narrative of possibility, growth, and responsibility. It reminds us that our lives are not accidents, nor are they defined solely by perfection or failure. We are beings of choice, gifted with intellect, awareness, and moral responsibility. Our task is to navigate the complexities of life with wisdom, humility, and courage, knowing that every decision shapes our character, our destiny, and the impact we have on the world around us. As we conclude, take a moment to reflect on the lessons embedded in this story. That knowledge is a gift to be sought with humility, that choice carries responsibility, and that true greatness is found not in perfection, but in the ability to learn, grow, and fulfill one's purpose. Humanity was created not just to exist, but to engage, to understand, to strive, and to reflect the divine potential that lies within us. Every day offers a new opportunity to honor this legacy, to rise above arrogance and ignorance, and to embrace the path of wisdom, compassion, and insight. Remember, the angels' test and the story of Adam are more than historical or theological accounts. They are mirrors for our own lives. They call us to recognize our potential, to act with integrity, and to pursue knowledge with both curiosity and humility. They remind us that life is a journey of learning, that challenges our opportunities in disguise, and that the divine wisdom guiding creation is present in every step we take. By understanding and embracing this story, we gain perspective on our own choices, our responsibilities, and the extraordinary gift of being human. So as you leave this video today, carry with you the understanding that your life is part of a cosmic narrative, one that began before the creation of humanity and continues through every choice you make. You have the potential to learn, to grow, and to embody the qualities that make humanity unique. Your life is a continuation of the divine plan, an opportunity to honor knowledge, humility, and moral discernment. Stand tall in the knowledge that being human is a gift unlike any other, a gift entrusted to you to nurture, protect, and elevate. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the story of when God tested the angels before creating humans. If this story inspired you, take a moment to reflect on your own life and the choices you make every day. Embrace the gift of knowledge, act with humility, and strive to grow in wisdom. And remember, just like Adam, you carry within you the potential to shape your destiny, to learn, and to honor the incredible legacy of humanity. Until next time, keep seeking understanding, and may your journey be guided by wisdom, courage, and insight.